Alrighty, PG-13. This is G.I. Joe 2022. Now we're going to look at the Transformer H.I.S.S tank, and we're going to compare it. Now it's pretty similar in size to the original. Pretty much the same size. Even the tank treads line up. But you can still tell it's a Transformer. And this was super hard to transform. It seemed more complicated than it had to be. Like, you know, they should have had something where just pop it out, there goes the legs. I don't know. When I was a kid and I had some Transformers, it was like super easy. This, it took me a long time to try to figure it out. Even trying to watch other people do it, I was like, holy crap. But the Bumblebee was not as bad. But this has a little thing here, so it's not too bad. Now another thing is, with these cannons, you know, they should have been able to put a guy in here, so the figure fits in there very easy. But another thing with these cannons, like, they could have made a little extra piece. They could have made these with like some sort of ridges, and then you could have plugged it into something that actually locked these two in place. Have a little cylinder, locked them in place, and then they'd move in tandem. But obviously these don't, so that's another drawback. So they didn't fully think their H.I.S.S tank through. And like, say for example, Transformers, you know, like when they go into battle, they transform as they're going. Well, this just doesn't do it, because head's back here and the legs are over here. It's supposed to just, you know, as it's going. So I didn't like this as a Transformer at all, and it's not totally clicked into place properly. I don't want to try to fidget around with this thing again, because it's just impossible. It like doesn't line up right. Then you try to snap it and it just doesn't go. There is a trailer hitch here. You can pull it out. There we go. There's a little trailer hitch there. So I didn't really like it as a Transformer. It's not too many tabs, too many actual parts. You know, Transformers are supposed to be somewhat simple. You should be able to just flip, roll it around and get it in place. But that's just not the case with this. And they got a cheaper plastic for the glass, so I don't know how well that'll do, but I mean, it's, and the wheels suck. They're just some little tiny nubs, so that is not going to roll as well as the original H.I.S.S tank. I mean, it looks nice and shiny, but I don't know. It's not as good as it should have been. Like, look at these tiny wheels. Oh, they're already just somewhat disintegrating on one of them was. So, it's not the greatest. I mean, you're supposed to click in this, click in that. It's like, what the heck? So this does not roll too smooth. Did I need to get it? I don't know. But I do want to complete the year. So, again, you know, like, they've given us so many figures already. So it's a H.I.S.S tank. It does look nice, but at the same time, as a Transformer, it doesn't really transform as well. Now Bumblebee transforms super easy. I didn't look at the instructions. I just, just felt around, and you have to do it by feel. It shouldn't be that hard. I mean, it does have a little hose here, so I can probably find a hose and plug it in. It does roll. Doesn't have the suspension though. This is just one of my beat up ones. I've got like a bunch. These are all a little bit chewed on or warped. But I mean, this is kind of neat. These can go back. But for the transformer mode, I'm just not gonna bother because I just don't care for transformers. And this is kind of awesome with the steering wheel. The steering wheel folds up or down. Another real bad design is these things, you have to like fidget around to try to get the cage into place. And it's like with a transformer, it should all be one piece. That's why it's a transformer. It's like they have transformers that are like a Hummer, so you could just make that as a transformer and just use that. It's simple. Keep it simple, stupid. Like, geez. Now the figure's nice. This one's not too bad at all. I have some hands seem all screwed up. I do want to open Stalker, and I might want to open the Baroness and just see if I can fit a head from a vintage in here. Because like, you look at this, she got painted eyes, and then you take the vintage, the skin tone is already there. It's not painted. So why would they do this? This is a super expensive figure. Well, this is worth way more now. But you can see the Baroness. Way nicer. I don't know how well that'll come in, but... And this one's got painted eyes. Like, they just... Oh, they ruined a perfectly good figure. Like, just leave the skin tone. It's like horrible. Why would they do that? The skin tone on the figure is nice. I don't know. It just baffles me. And like, even with this transformer here, like, there's so many extra parts you have to snap on here, snap on there. That's not a transformer. The transformer should all be one. Should be simple. Should, pull out. Transform, flip up the legs, transforms like this. I don't know. They're supposed to go into battle, or else they flip, and then you have everything here. Head, I think they've designed these backwards. This one's awkward as well. It's got this just thin little piece here, so might be prone to breakage. It's not made too well. That's all I gotta say. Will a figure fit in there? Oh, let's find out. Let's get our test figure. Leather neck. Let's see if we can get him in here. Well, he fits in somewhat. Looks like it's a lot less room. Oh, he does fit in here. Doesn't look like as much space. The seats might be a little closer together there. You leatherneck, you got too big. So you have to try to cram your figure in there. This is not a good situation. He's stuck. Help, I'm stuck. We're having technical difficulties. Alright, well, let's try to bend his legs a little bit. Well, maybe we'll tip the steering wheel up a bit. Alright. So it does look like the spacing between the seats is not wide enough. and see if he fits in better on the other side. So they didn't quite get the scale here. As you can see, it's a simple figure here. Put him in there. Push down a little more. Maybe it'll fit better. Well, there we go. You just push down a bit more. So they just barely fit. You know, they needed a little more room in here. But now this thing seems to be all awkward. So is this a good buy? I don't think so. It's way overpriced. This should have been like $60 Canadian. So it should have been like $50 American. Same with this. This should have been like $60 American maybe. It's just not worth it. I mean, without the bell wheels, that's one of the main features that actually makes this thing roll nice and keeps it off the ground a bit. So I don't know how well this will slide on, roll on the carpet. But it does look sharp. I mean, there is some nice things, but again, I'm gonna see if I can probably find another vintage Baroness eventually and switch out the heads and see if that'll work. If not, oh well. Now the Stalker's weapon, that does look a little thick in the handle, but it might not be. But they do, the Stalker looks nice. The Baroness does not. I mean, how many Baronesses have they made and they can't get it right for this? And we're paying how much? Oh, you know, might have been better off to just buy some more vintage H.I.S. tanks for like $50 a piece. And you know, I would have gotten, for the price of this, probably 2 and maybe a figure out of the deal. So again, I think this is way overpriced for what it is. I mean, you know, the Transformer should transform simple. Shouldn't be that complicated. You know, you have to push the chest piece out and you have to move some other piece to this piece position, and like for the back wheels, it was like, why didn't they just make it more of one piece? I don't know. It seems way too complicated. Some people can get it like instantly, but I think they've practiced. Whereas others, they're like, they couldn't even follow the instructions either, and then they had to figure it out too. So anyways, this one was simpler, way easier to transform. This one was way more complicated. Just because pieces get stuck, you gotta, I don't know, there's too many parts. It should be far less parts to transform a transformer. So if I was gonna make a video of this, it would be like 5 or 6 parts, because it was taking me forever to try to get these stupid tabs in, and it just didn't work. Did not work. And it's still not fully functional because these are still not pushed in all the way. Like, oh, I don't. Anyways, if you want to complete your year, then you're gonna need to get it. If you like it, extra H.I.S. tank, but that's way overpriced. Try to look for a sale. So anyways, thanks for watching, and remember to subscribe and share the videos with others.